A Garrow came to me one night, claiming to be a Métis Shadow Lord Ragabash, named Terror of Shadows, who had heard of the tale of my outcasting and my current plight. She offered a means of removing the glyph that I bore, claiming that Rorg could do so. Thinking I could return to the Sept after such, to replenish my connection to Gaia and be that much more potent in battle, I agreed to go with her into the Umbra. Only what I didn't know was that she wasn't a Shadow Lord. She was a Black Spiral Dancer. I have no way of knowing exactly where she led me, but suffice it to say, it was not Rorg's temple on Earth. The taint there seemed just as strong, if not stronger, than what we had left back in Pittsburgh. Before me lay a circle of rocks, with the stain and stench of dried blood all around. Terror entered the circle and howled out in a high-pitched screech that would make glass crack, obviously meant to be beckoning something. It was only about this time that I was beginning to have some suspicion about her. But then a Bane descended, and all black with huge claws and glaring red eyes, and I could feel the glyph on my forehead ache in its presence. Thinking this was the spirit that had marked me, it became my target first and foremost. I fought using all my strength and rage, yet with each attack it seemed to grow ever larger, and the ache of the glyph only increased. I could barely think with the throb of it distracting me. The Bane snagged me, and soon tentacles swarmed about, and I was held tight. My guide was laughing at this point, and it was then that I realized my mistake. This had been a trap. I could feel the Bane trying to gain further control of me, and I knew I didn't have the ability to stop it. My attacks had only made it stronger, as if it were feeding off my rage. With the battle lost and the promise of corruption staring me in the face, there was only one thought that came to mind. I couldn't allow myself to fall to the Wyrm. I focused on freeing one hand. One hand was all I'd need to rip out my own throat. No, these scars aren't made by me. I was saved that fate from my packmates, Socrates Gordhost, Amy Silverthorn, and Kiwanima Rossi. Their howls rang out clear and strong, and they descended on the Bane with a fury, and I stayed my hand, seeing hope once more with their arrival. It was not long at all with them working together that they killed the Bane that held me. Yet even still, damage had been done. It is like from a dream state that I recall my attacks on my own rescuers. I saw, as if in a fog, my own claws strike out at Amy. The Bane's corruption had gotten in enough that I was swayed by my rage, my anger, my bitterness, blaming them for all that had happened to me after the disbandment of the pack. The Wyrm is like that. It feeds your weakness until it is large enough to allow him in. It's fortunate, at least in this, that I am no match against Socrates. With him holding me back, they took me down before I could do much damage. After I had been cleansed and healed, it was decided amongst us all that I would return here with them to Los Angeles, where they would help me find a means of removing the Wyrm's glyph. For over 6 months now I have patrolled the streets of greater Los Angeles, Malibu, Santa Monica, South Central, aiding where I could, but keeping apart from the Sept, even after having been accepted by Mammoth in a pack. Previous to this night I have not set foot near the cairn or Sept, in the off chance that those that marked me could track me by the glyph I bore. Yet tonight I stand before you free of it, and once more proud to be able to claim Fenris as my father. That is the story most here have been waiting for me to begin. So here it is.